Hey guys, I'm Craig, and today for the Surfboard Guide, I want to talk through two kind of cruisers I've recently been riding, kind of break them down a little more. We've got reviews on both of them, which is the Atelier by Haydenshapes and the Modern Quad by Matt Pagan at Pagan Surfboards. I want to talk to them. They're complementary of each other. A lot of similarities, but they both could sit in your quiver. So I know people are out there kind of frothing. Slimmer myself, still a shortboard guy at heart, but definitely like more, forgiving equipment that makes surfing when, small and average waves or just whatever conditions are thrown at us, a little more fun. I want to up my wave count as I'm getting a little bit older, but I also want to be able to jam a turn, or even just do like a high line trim and a soul arch that feels good. So I'm still feeling good about my surfing. And these are two boards I've ridden recently, and I want to talk about how a lot of similarities between the two, but a little bit of differences in what I found from both of them. So starting with the Atelier by Haydenshapes, you would have seen we put out a review a while ago now. The Atelier I had is a 6.0, 21 3/4, 2 3/4, and it's 42 litres. It's just like a shortboard outline, just blown up. 21 3/4 at 6.0, 42 litres, a lot of volume, a lot of width, a lot of thickness. Still got a nice little square tail, not quite as wide as the one in the Modern Quad, but pretty wide, wider than your shortboard. And that width just comes out through the rail. Rail is kind of medium full. And the Atelier was a lot of fun. Surfs really nicely through the water, really easy to surf, paddle power's there, slays rip bowls. But the difference here, I guess, is being a thruster. Still has more of a pivot kind of feel. So if you want to surf more vertically and do turns that are sort of straight up, but also still wrap through turns and snap, this thruster's got you covered. A better pivot feel, a little bit more performance, can surf a little bit more vertically, but still has all those really cool characteristics if you just want to cruise, you just want to get into waves nice and early, you just want to have a whole heap of fun, or you're like a beginner who's moving from longboard, mini mal, soft top, and you want to go down more into that kind of shortboard realm, and you want something that's full of foam, lots of fun and easy to surf. The Atelier is really good. Like I said, it can surf like a shortboard. That thruster setup helps it. I also paired it up with a 2+1. So if you get like the future T1s, rasters, twin plus stabilizer, they all work really well. But I sometimes find it hard when you've got a shaper, as established as Hayden, makes amazing boards, so into design. How can I go past his fin? So this is a Haydenshapes THS1 by Futures, which is a large, it's a speed generating fin. So it has the foil on the inside, has a nice gentle flex, and just worked really, really well with the Atelier. So it was really hard to go past that. But if you want to loosen up the back end of it, you want it to surf, a bit freer, maybe try a 2+1. T1s I'd recommend. They're really nice soft flex. They're a glass fin, but still got a nice soft flex, and still gives you a nice hold and drive, but then a little bit more freedom through the back end with a smaller center fin. But yeah, that's the Atelier. Out of the two, probably likes to get a little bit more vertical, a little bit more performance, a little bit more shortboard orientated, and a whole lot of fun. So really good for someone who wants to progress their surfing towards a shortboard. We have the Modern Quad by Matt Pagan of Pagan Surfboards. If you're Australian or don't delve into new surfboard brands and shapers and stuff too much, you might not have heard of Matt Pagan. Matt Pagan is from Los Angeles, does some really cool stuff, has Hunter Jones from Los Angeles riding his boards, which is really cool. And he also had a modern twin. Stab did a Joyride series on it last year with Mikey Ciaramella surfing it. Board looked epic, but I got in touch with Matt, we had a chat about a board, and we went, let's go the Modern Quad. Modern Quad, lots of similarities to the Atelier. Still got that kind of shortboard outline, but the Modern Quad has less of a pointy nose, little fuller through the nose, but still comes into a nice point. And then through that back end of the tail, again, a square tail, but a much straighter outline and a wider square tail than the Atelier. The Modern Quad, funnily enough, is 2 inches longer at 6'2", 21, 2 5/8, but it's 2 litres less foam. But saying that, they both paddle very similarly. If you didn't have any numbers on them, I'd say they were same size, same volume, same paddle power. which is quite funny. But yeah, the Modern Quad, we've got the full review, which is out. I'll put a link above, hopefully, in this clip, so you can check it out if you didn't see the full review on it. But similar to the Atelier, paddling into waves nice and early, really easy to surf, a great board for someone who's moving from bigger, whatever equipment to a shortboard, or maybe if you're getting older and you kind of want to step off the shortboards, you're really not enjoying your surfing as much as you did, and you want something with a bit more paddle power, a bit more trim, the Modern Quad. As I said, the Atelier with a thruster, a bit more pivot, could go straight up through turns, but the Modern Quad definitely felt different through the back end, and that is generally because of this quad setup that you find the Modern Quad. So this is the Tomo setup by Futures, really obscure looking fin, and after a bit of trial and tribulation, went really well, and I really enjoyed it. But you know, you could even do the Haydenshapes, do the quads, do those with the quad rears, they'd work really well. Really any quad you put in this board I think will go really well. It was just an opportunity for me to check out the Tomos by Futures, and they went really well. Matt recommends, I think, like Matt Pagan recommends Matt Biolis, like Lost Surfboards. I think has like a new controller quad set. There's some other stuff with Futures. He recommended them, but I couldn't get them in Australia at the time. Modern Quad, similarly, paddle power, getting into waves really easy, nice and easy to surf, but not quite as vertical. Its turns are more flatter faced, open, you know, kind of rounder. And it just really loves to trim. So a little bit more length, a straight outline. Sometimes I just kind of like stand on this thing and just trim down the face. I wouldn't say I was doing like soul arches or anything like that. And would be great maybe on a point break. Longer waves, just getting trim speed, getting around sections. A bit more space to move, you know, bigger open faces where you can do wider, bigger turns. The Modern Quad feels absolutely at home. Overall, I hope you guys found that really helpful. You rewind the clock 24, 36 months ago, there's no way I would have thought I would have been talking about boards like this and frothing out on them. But you know, an entry into kind of mid-lengths and then a whole bunch of twin fins. Still love my shortboards, still a shortboard guy at heart, but you know, surfing less regularly, getting older, having knee issues and stuff like that, I'm frothing on these type of boards. They're getting me into waves nice and easy and early. You know, I'm upping my wave count. If I have a little hiatus in my surfing a couple of weeks, I don't feel like I'm learning again. And when I get a section, you know, and I want to do something that, you know, I was once very capable of, these boards still allow that. Whether I'm holding that back, that might be the case, but these sort of boards are still super capable. Look, overall, two great boards for someone who just wants to catch waves, make surfing easy. You want both of them in the quiver? You definitely could. There's definitely some overlaps, but they both do things on their own, which is complementary to how they work, and they're definitely both worth checking out. Look, thank you so much to Haydenshapes and Matt Pagan for the opportunity to check out these boards, and hopefully you get a chance to check them out as well. Thanks for watching.